Okay, everyone, so I'm here at the Dead Sea Scroll exhibit at the Ronald Reagan Library in Simi Valley. It says, the excavation along Jerusalem's ancient pilgrimage road have unveiled a treasure trove of artifacts, offering a vivid glimpse into the bustling life of the Second Temple period. These finds paint a picture of a thriving urban center where religious life flourished and daily activities intertwined. Each artifact tells a story, from the march of the pilgrims towards the temple to the marketplace hustle and bustle to personal possessions. And this is what it would have looked like, I guess, back then. And this is an artifact from that time period. Fair trade. It says, in ancient Jerusalem's bustling marketplace, tools ensured fair commerce. The stone sakoma, a limestone table with funnel-shaped depressions measuring liquids like wine and olive oil. Unique to Jerusalem's Jewish population, limestone weights, as opposed to Roman metal ones, measured solids. Some bore inscription or symbols, while others contained hidden lead inserts for precision calibration. Okay, it was their way of measuring. That makes sense. So, I'll show you here what it looks like. Basically, their way to measure how much, like if you're selling olive oil and you want to make sure it's accurate, this would be able to ensure exactly how much was being done. It makes sense. Okay. Writing and writing instruments. Okay. It says, literacy may have been more widespread than previously thought. Evidence from informal inscriptions suggesting basic reading and writing skills extended beyond the upper class, indicating the written word connected people to their culture and religion. Several writing methods are attested to: inscribing on hard surfaces using a sharp tool, applying ink with a reed on pottery. Okay. And using wax tablets for temporary notes. Very fascinating. This here says precious oils, ointments, and medicines. So these tiny vessels likely held precious medical ointments or local balms, offering insight into ancient practices of medicine. Their presence highlights Jerusalem's connection to the Mediterranean trade networks and cultural practices. So it's their way of containing like oils. Kind of like when you buy, oil today in a little can or a little glass jar. This is interesting here. This is a fragment of wax tablet for writing by this woman, I guess. Okay. This is really interesting. This is shells in ancient Jerusalem. During the Second Temple period, shells in Jerusalem were more than mere ornaments, prized for their luster. They were crafted into luxurious items like jewelry, for boxes and furniture decorations, catering to the city's elite. Okay. These shells tell a fascinating story of ancient trade and the desire of exotic luxury items. While some came from nearby Mediterranean coasts, others traveled from as far as the Red Sea and the Nile region. This diverse sourcing reveals Jerusalem's extensive trade networks and connections to exotic locations. It says, interestingly, archaeologists have discovered evidence of a local shell workshop near Jerusalem's pilgrimage road. The presence of the production waste alongside finishes artifacts, suggesting a thriving local industry. So it's their form of jewelry, which makes sense, right? Shells can be very beautiful, and this would be seen as something elite. It was their version of luxury. Okay. Bone workshop. Interesting. See here. It says, take a look here. Beneath the steep street of ancient Jerusalem, archaeologists uncovered evidence of a bone workshop dating to the Second Temple period in the main drainage channel of the city. The drainage channel yielded animal bones in various stages of processing, revealing a thriving craft industry. Artisans prized bone for its strength, durability, and workability. They skillfully transformed it into practical tools, delicate jewelry, and decorated furniture elements. The bones primarily came from large animals like cattle. Huh. That makes sense. The artifacts on display are mainly crafted from long limb bones and flat bones such as the ribs. I guess it would make sense. Like if you have a cow bone, they're very durable. The calcium's hard in it, and they can be used for different things. So that makes a lot of sense. This, to me, was an interesting one. This one says the games people played. So here we have, looks like some little dice. It says, from imperial palaces to bustling marketplaces, games have been a universal pastime since antiquity. These games bridge social divides, entertaining emperors and commoners alike. Many game boards were simply put or carved into stone, while others were portable works of art. Dice, either as part of a board game or as a game in themselves, were particularly popular. I've always wondered where the idea of dice came from. The discovery of game boards, dice, and other game pieces show an aspect of leisure activity in the public sphere of the city. Interestingly, the carving of board games known for many streets throughout the Roman world has not been found on the pilgrimage road, perhaps suggesting a certain level of holiness attributed to the paved path. Makes sense, like you don't bring the common stuff when you're going to do something holy. That makes sense. It's a beautiful little stone there. This says gemstone. It says, in ancient Jerusalem Second Temple period, 3 engraved entalogues tell a story of cultural diversity. These semi-precious stones adorned finger rings and served as personal seals. They held deep meaning, offering promises of health. Okay. So these are the rings there. This is interesting. It says, lost and found, echoes of ancient lives on Jerusalem street. So you got a lot of just little random items here. And these here are numbered. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It says, in the bustling streets of ancient Jerusalem, people were just as prone to losing personal items as we are today. Excavations of Jerusalem's steep street and drainage channel have unearthed a collection of lost personal items from 2 millennia ago. These findings include everyday objects like keys, coins, beads, and finger rings, offering glimpses into daily life in ancient Jerusalem. Okay, makes sense. These artifacts provide connections to the diverse inhabitants of ancient Jerusalem, from children to rulers. Basically, people are always losing things. Fascinating. Oh, so those coins here are actually here. So number 1 is a bronze coin. Number 2 is minted by Pontius Pilate. Number 3 is a silver shekel. And number 4 is a bronze coin from the Jewish revolt. So interesting. So we can see the different coins here. Get out there. Very, very fascinating. Okay, and over here if we come, we got something interesting here. It says, fallen fragments from a temple mount tunnel. It says, the chiefs of the tribes and fathers of the congregation taking their stand at the gates of the sanctuary, these shall take their stand at the burnt offerings and sacrifices. According to rabbinical writings, the pre-Herodian temple had 2 gates. When Herod doubled the size of the mount, he built 2 additional gates. In the southern wall to the east was the triple gate, and on the west the double gate. Tunnels led from them both to the interior and up the surface of the Temple Mount. These fragments come from the double gate passageway, although their exact location is uncertain. Okay, I guess this is what they assumed it would have looked like. It was quite large. And then these are fragments from that period. Let me walk around the other way and show you guys. Quite interesting. So let's see what else we got here. There's a few more items. This says temple tax. It says, on the 15th of the month, the tables of the money changers were set up in the providences. On the 25th, they were set up in the temple. Okay. It says, the Tyrian shekel minted in Tyre before 19 BCE and weighing up around half an ounce was the only coin accepted as temple tax. Temple priests valued the high silver content of these pagan coins, about 94%. which remained the standard even after the Romans took over. Okay, very interesting. Okay, well, stay with me guys as we take a look inside.